This is lesson 2.2 for algebra, subtracting rational numbers. So title it 2.2 and then subtracting rational numbers. Now, the rule, subtraction rule. Write this in your notes. This is really the only key concept or vocab term in this lesson. So to subtract a number, all it says is to add its opposite. Okay, so just like in lesson 2.1, you can use a number line to simplify or find your answer. So here's my number line, -3 minus 2. So I'm going to start at -3 and I'm going to subtract 2. So therefore my answer is -5. Or, like above in the rule, it says add its opposite. You can do -3 plus -2, and then go back to your rules from 2.1. If they're the same sign, you add and keep the sign. 3 minus 2, so I start at 3, and I subtract 2, so that gets me to 1 as my answer. Now, here's where it gets tricky, is when they start throwing in parentheses and multiple negative signs. So if I'm at -3, here's -3, and I want to subtract a -2, we all know that two negatives make a positive, so it would really be -3 plus 2. So I'm going to add 2, which then becomes -1. This one is 3, and then I'm going to add 2. So if I add 2, that becomes 5 as my answer. This should all just be a review trying to get us to remember our little rules that we use. All right, so try these. Now, remember in example 3, these are absolute value signs. So try these problems, push pause, and then we'll go over, and you may use a calculator. Okay, so first we have 6 minus 9. You can change it to 6 plus -9, which means they're different signs, which means I subtract and I get 3, and I keep the sign of the bigger number. Or if you can do that in your head, you just know that it's -3. So then the next one is 2.7 minus 10.3, which is -7.6. Now here, you have to change the sign. So I would just quickly jot it down as this. -11.6 plus 14, and then I get my answer of 2.4. Here, the same type of thing. 2/3 plus 4/9. If you want to do this without your calculator, you can change this. So I'm going to times it by 3, times it by 3, and I get 6/9 plus 4/9, which is 10/9, or 1 1/9. I think that way's easier just because I could see the relationship between the 3 and the 9 instead of using my calculator. Okay, simplify the absolute value of -3 minus -21. So I'm going to do what's inside the absolute value first. So I'm going to do -13 plus 21. So then if you just do that on your calculator or in your head, you get 8. And then the absolute value of 8 is 8. It's just how far from 0 is it on a number line. Let's put that in our notes. Absolute value, how far from 0 on a number line. So if this was -8, the absolute value would still be 8 because that's 8 units from 0 on a number line. All right, so to apply subtraction, these are two problems that you will encounter where you have to input X and Y, and where like the temperature changes. That's a big one for applying subtraction. So try these two problems and then we'll go over them. All right, so X minus negative y. So if I put in my numbers, my x is negative 4, and then I have to keep my minus, my parentheses, my negative, and then y is negative 6. So now what I'm going to change this to negative 4 minus 6, because these two make a positive 6. So negative 4 minus 6 would be negative 10. So now that's just your answer is negative 10. Next example. The temperature in Montreal, Canada at 6 p.m. was negative 8 degrees. Find the temperature at 10 if it fell 7 degrees. So I have to just think about this for a second. The temperature at 10, it fell. Here's my key word, fell. So that means minus 7 degrees. So negative 8 minus 7 is negative 15 degrees. All right. Okay, so now try these 6 problems. Push pause on the video and try these, and then we will go over them, and then this will be done for your video notes. Okay, 7 minus 12, pretty simple, is negative 5. That you should be able to do in your head. 3 minus negative 8 would be 3 plus 8, which is 11. And negative 7 minus 5, if you need to use the number line, you can. Negative 7 minus 5 is negative 12. Now, these ones are a little bit trickier because you're inputting x and y. So x is 3 and y is 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. The absolute value of negative 4 minus 3. So then I have the absolute value of negative 7, and the absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. And then lastly, I have my matrix. So what I'm going to do is first fill it in with all the numbers. So x is 3 and y is 4. So I'm going to go through, and this is subtraction, and I'm going to go through and fill these in. 3, 8, negative 5, 4. Now, if I'm going to minus, I'm going to do negative 2 minus 3. If I write this out, you can kind of see this. Negative 2 minus 3 goes in this top left corner because both of those numbers are in the top left corner. So then, that answer, negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. That's my answer. Now I'm going to do 3 minus 8 for this corner. 3 minus 8 is negative 5 also. Then I'm going to do 4 minus negative 5, which is 4 plus 5, which is 9. And then 4 minus 4, which is 0. So there is your answer for your matrix. All right, that's all for now.